What if the secret to perfect parenting was admitting that none of us have a clue?
The truth, we're two real moms figuring it out in real time and keeping it real along the way.
Each episode, we're calling BS on perfection and bringing you raw combos with parents and professionals who aren't afraid to go there.
Because what if the real parenting hack was dropping truth bombs instead of pretending like we got it all together? Let's get into it.
All right, welcome back to Truth Moms, everybody. This is episode 2 of season 5, which is every time I see that, I'm like,
we have 5
what?
seasons.
Yeah.
But it's been lasted longer than Very Cavallari. We did.
We're
I'm
good.
very proud of that moment.
The producers want us. They want to keep us.
Yeah. They're like, we like your storyline. We want to keep going.
So yeah, we are going to talk about, whatever today, but I think we're going to focus on what you are doing right now when it comes to Lent. Because now we're a God podcast.
I might as well keep going on that. Wait, so okay, I did want to ask this. Okay, so what is the Protestant view on Lent? Do you guys have like a Lenten season?
No.
Oh no?
I mean, you can do
You're
it.
prepping for Easter? Like is the word Lent Catholic?
I think so, like predominantly, I believe so. I think what we do is we fast for 21 days in January and February. Like it's like a thing. It's not like
fasting. Like, what do you mean? How fasting?
Fasting social media, fasting.
So
your diet, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They do. It's like a. I wouldn't say it's as big as Lent. Like Lent is like a thing, like a very like sacred thing. 21 days is just kind of like a practice.
Yeah. Well, it's 21 days for your body to kick or develop a habit. So that's the point of cleansing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But we do the same thing. I mean, essentially, but we do 40. It's 40 days plus 46. So the Sundays don't count. They're days of celebration.
Okay.
Because that's the whole thing about celebrating the Eucharist. So you get that they don't count as in it's lax. The idea is suffering in sense of giving yourself up, whether it's the fasting or through prayer or there's the one I'm doing is like 4 different spots. So it's like there's one physical because the body's a temple, one fasting for the sake of suffering, one prayer, and then one nightly examine. So you're basically at the end of the night saying like, what led me to God, what took me away, whatever. But it's 40 days, and then on Sundays it's considered a day of celebration. So if like you're fasting, if you're giving up coffee's okay on Sunday because it's considered a day of celebration.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what we're doing. But I didn't. So that's what I was curious about because I feel like there's something that like when they're like, hey, tell me you're something without saying you're something. So like like tell me you're Catholic without saying Catholic.
Yeah.
I feel like whenever I say the word Lent, people are like, oh,
You're Catholic.
I didn't realize it was a Catholic thing.
Oh, really?
I just thought Lenten season was the season for preparation before Easter.
I think some people will like do
like
it.
Advent. Advent I get
Yes.
is Catholic. Advent I get that.
Yes, but I think some people will practice like doing Lent just to give something up, kind of like a diet in a way, like you sacrifice themselves. But I don't think that they're going to get the ash. But some people do.
Well, so the ash is not predominant. It is a predominantly Catholic thing, but you don't have to be Catholic to get ash. It's not a sacrament.
Okay.
So it's like what's the word you would call it? It is sacramental, or it's not you don't have to have a sacrament, but it is basically it's an invitation for others to receive ashes because it's not considered part of the sacraments.
It's so funny to me because I grew up around so many Catholic people, but I realized that like I know very little. Like I know about Lent and I know about like communion and like CCD classes, but like
you took CCD?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh.
No,
I didn't.
No, but like honestly, like the exposure to the Catholic Church to me, I don't know if you had these. I had CCD dances where they were raunchy. Like yes.
I wasn't allowed to hang out with the CCD kids because those were public school kids.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. No, like the CCD dances, anyone could go.
I would imagine they were raunchy.
And everyone wore the black skirts that were like up to your butt. And then you wore like a 5'7", remember 5'7" that store, like a wet seal?
No.
Would wear like a cute little like
5'7"?
Yeah, you didn't have one of those?
No, we were like what was it? Limited 2.
Yes, this is like a cheap this is like a $5 t-shirt kind of thing.
Oh, no.
Like a wet
we had
seal,
Kmart for that.
Charlotte Russe kind of
Actually,
thing.
my mom, that's one of, speaking of being Catholic, that's one of my mom's favorite memories of, not favorite, most frustrating memories of me, of like how often I really wanted to go against the grain, especially when my mom wanted me to do something.
Yeah.
So for Holy Communion, when the little girls get their first communion, it's every celebration for what I'm learning into in the Catholic faith through the catechism is that Jesus is the bridegroom. So you want to present yourself as if like it's at your wedding day, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so tiny little girls who are getting engaged for the first time, and you get these big puffy white dresses, and they look like little princesses, and they're so beautiful. And I was like, Mom, I don't want a puffy white dress.
What did you
I
wear?
wanted the Kmart. And that's what I wore. And
There
so
you
my
go.
mom it looks like a slip. Like it has like a little tool, but not a lot. And it was totally me. My mom was like, she had gone through lengths to get like this very, very nice like dress. I think one of my sisters ended up wearing it.
Yeah.
That was like a couple $100 or whatever. And I wanted the $5 Kmart dress. Like that was just, and I was not,
Okay.
I remember, by the way, sitting down because you sit in the chapel before you go up to receive your communion. And I remember looking around and be like, maybe I should have done that. But I was so intent on doing it my way and how I wanted to do it. And I did not want anything to do with these big, bushy dresses.
Do you realize that's exactly what you're doing with your wedding too?
Yeah. Yes. And I do anything that anyone tells me, I'm like, no, that's not. No, I'm doing it my way.
I almost actually, I found $100 dress when I was looking for my dresses, and I'll have to show you a picture of it, but like I almost did the same thing. I was like, I don't need like a fancy dress, but then I ended up getting one.
No, the only my dress is a little costly, but it's the dress.
Did you pick your dress?
I had my dress.
I'm offended.
I haven't told anybody because it's not like I didn't go
No,
dress
I'm
shopping.
mad.
I just knew this is my mom gets upset about is like, I don't do that. I'm like, no, I don't need to do that. I know exactly what I want, and that's what I'm going to get.
She's not good at group projects, everyone.
We talked about this. I'm like, I am not a good group projector. I'm not. In fact, I told her this story offline. For my senior year in college, you have to do that group project at the end. And I remember that poor guy, still don't remember his name now. For the entire semester, we were buddies and we had to like do this group thing. And halfway through, he had just presented something to me that I was like, this is not at all, like, it's not going to work. So I'm going to do it myself and I'm going to steamroll it. And that's not always great. That's because that's part of the things that I learned with PJ and my friends, right? Is that I have to like put that aside. It's a lot of it is pride, I think, because I have a vision in my head that I have to
execute.
And now I see River. Because that's what River and Lenny fight about all the time. Like River will have these blocks and she doesn't think, I told you that, she doesn't care about things. River doesn't have she doesn't have a need for she doesn't have a stuffy that's hers. Like nothing is special as in it's not, she can't just throw it away, right? She has moments where she's like, oh, I really like bluey things, or I really like this baby doll that I'm playing with. But it hasn't seen her through years. After a couple of months, she's over it and she wants to, she's looking at something new, which is why painting's so great for us. However, she is project focused. So if she's painting something and she's very intent on her painting and someone comes up and throws a random brush in the sky, she's like, no. And she gets so upset. Yeah. So they'll be playing blocks and Lenny will be Lenny's gotten it now where she'll literally just hand her the block because she's like, I just know that I cannot put this block on this thing that you're building.
It's so amazing. Like she really is your neurochemical twin.
Yeah.
I realized Easton is also mine.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, he has like the neurochemical thing that I have from seeing the MaxGen as well. But I noticed I used to get so attached to the stupidest little tiny things. Like my mom would give me, I think I didn't see her a lot like during the week, and like the days that I would see her, I would go to dinner on like a Tuesday or Wednesday night. And when I would spend the night, I'd get super attached to her and then I'd have a really hard time in school the next day. So I remember one time she gave me a pencil and I like would not let go of the pencil that day.
Wow. Okay.
And so yesterday, actually he was watching David. He's obsessed with David and Goliath, you guys, like obsessed. And at the very end, he rips his robe and he throws it up as a gift to God. Like,
Yeah.
And Easton just comes in crying, like bawling. He goes, he's not gonna get it back. I was like, what? Like I had no idea what he was talking about. So I had to like rewind and like go see. He's like, that was his and it's gone forever. And I was like, it was a gift. And he just like, he was really upset for forever. And I was like, oh, you get like sentimental attachments like I used to like objects.
Yeah.
Where like I can't throw things out. It's not good.
Oh, really? Like I enjoy letting things go.
I do, but like if he sees me do it, no.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we got all
That
the way
is
over
great,
here.
though. That's great. No, I mean, that's great. I mean, that's the whole thing about the Lenten season in general is it's supposed to be like a little tug at your ego of saying like, you got to let things go. And so that is, it's just funny how kids really mirror you and you see it and you're like, man, I didn't just realize it until just now how exactly my kids
Did they
are like me.
learn it though, or are they just built that way? And
I think it's got to be a little bit of both. I mean, because for sure your kids pick up on the things that you do.
Yeah.
And not that you, like, you're not saying like, this is mommy's and this is special to mommy, but like you maybe unknowingly had something that you had on the table that you had a connection to, and he went to go reach for it and you were like, no, that's mommy's. Like or you know, quite the opposite with me. I always tell River, I'm like, River, people are things, dude. You can't have both. People are things. Yeah. And so now she's but in the same breath, if I'm working from home or if we're doing this, I'm telling her that she can't be. I'm like, mommy has to get this done. I have to get this done. Yeah. And then I'll spend time with you. And I think that's something that she's probably picked up is like, I have to get this done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Let me do this task. And then I will play with you. Because again, in the same fashion, when she's done building the block, she'll be like, okay, Lenny, your turn. But she has to get it done first. And then she'll let Lenny help.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes so much sense. You know what he did to me the other day?
Yeah.
He tries to sell me on things now. I realized. So like there's like, I don't know how much in the sales. I mean, it's just a gain agreement thing in life in general, just to try to get people to gain agreement with you. But it's like a sales process where like you tell the customer, okay, like this is the plan. And then at the very end, sound good or make sense. He's been make sensing me.
You say make sense.
I do.
Yeah.
And so he's been doing it. He's like, okay, we're going to go to the park and then we're going to go fishing. Make sense? I'm like,
yeah.
oh my gosh.
River does, because I do, like she does do you understand? Repeat that back to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, repeat it back to me because you're not listening, or where your listening ears, mom. And I'm like, they're right here.
They're right here.
Yeah.
Okay. So back to Lent.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess it's a Catholic thing. This is kind of crazy, but what I'm learning in this is that I think we talked about this with the wedding stuff is I feel like when you think that things are going to show, the hardness shows up blatantly in your face, and it really doesn't. So I've been like very kind of in my own gain here with Lent, because there's just small things that just continue to bother me. And I'm like, one of the things is not like, I just don't think that, I don't want to say this about my friends, but there was a moment where we were at a dinner, and you know, one of the things I'd given up was I gave up a lot, because I basically was like, what can I just want to not suffer, but I want to just like lay it out on the table. And there's a lot of things that I self-indulge about. So social media was one of them.
Yeah.
Sugar is just a normal thing. I'm like, I could just eat better. I just want to eat better this season, and like, let that speak for itself. And no coffee.
Wait, you have had no sugar at all. I didn't know that one.
Well, no, because I didn't say no sugar. Refined sugar was where I was going.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So
like you're eating fruit.
I'm eating fruit.
Okay.
And I'm having honey.
Okay.
Or maple syrup. But
to me, that's natural.
But that's
natural
but see where it doesn't feel like it's a huge, that reason why I added it, because it doesn't feel like it's a huge jump or a leap, because I already don't eat that much sugar anyway. Yeah. So then I was like, so it was like 3 or 4 days into the Lent, and I was like, that's not a good one. You're just doing that because it's just easy. Like, just don't eat a donut. Like, come on now. Right. So I added social media, because that's much harder of an addiction.
It's so hard.
And I realized, it's so funny. I realized that the only time I break the addiction is when I'm talking to the person in my family that causes me a lot of emotional stress. So in order to talk to my daughters, they have to use they don't have an iPhone or WhatsApp or anything. So the only way to talk to them like via a FaceTime situation is through social media.
Gotcha.
Which is just ironic that the only way I break my that I have broken it in order for my kids to talk, because it's impossible to click and just go right there.
Yeah,
your eyes. It's just crazy how your eyes just quickly go. And so I've had to be like, hey, we have to like just slow down that, because or wait till Sundays when like technically you're fast.
Yeah.
Because I can't, like, I physically feel the devil's in the details. Like I'm good until something shows up, and then I'm like, okay, how do I handle this? And then I explained that to this person, and then they're like, "Oh, come on." And that's sort of what happened at this lunch was I was like, "Hey, you know, I don't really want to have sugar. I don't want to really have coffee." And they're like, "Oh, come on. It's so-and-so's birthday. Like, it's just, you know, like it's bad luck if you don't eat it."
Why is it that people like, they feel like they can be like, okay, just break it. Like, just drink because, and it's like, can you just respect my boundary that I'm just put up? Like, we're adults. We're not 20 years old. Like, what are they going to gain from me eating
I just
sugar?
don't know why people are offended. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, what if you had a medical, like, a real medical thing?
But that's the problem because people will respect a medical thing. They don't respect you just saying, "Hey," like, also drinking, right? I just was like, "Hey, just throw that in there," because I just want to not give an excuse, but take your body to a habit, 21 days, and that's the whole thing. So it's 40 days. And I was like, I just want to have a new lifestyle. Yeah. And this is the perfect way to do that because I've thrown it out on the table. So whenever it shows up, I can be like, again, I'm hiding behind Lent, but essentially it's whatever. But so in the same fashion, you would think that me saying like, "Hey, this is a religious reason that I'm doing it," that would stop the banter, but it doesn't. And they're just like, "Come on," you know, and truthfully, right, if you believe in superstition, right, you should have a piece of birthday cake. So I'm like, but then I'm like, that's the thing that I don't want. You know, like I don't want that. So I was like, I'll just have a lick of that. And then they're like, "Oh, you have to try this drink." And I'm like, I really don't want to try the drink. Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, just have a sip. It's a good drink." I'm like, I really don't want to try the drink.
It's not going to change my life.
Right. Like I've had alcohol my whole life. Like I'm not my whole life, but you know what I mean? Like I've had alcohol enough to know that like every alcohol is the same alcohol. It's nothing, it's not life-changing drinks.
Right. Right.
And I don't think people mean this out of malice. I think it just comes naturally that you cherry pick. Yeah. Based on what makes sense and what is comfortable to you. It's uncomfortable to someone in those settings that someone doesn't partake because I still don't really know the reason.
I think
why.
they just don't feel like they're connecting with you because they can't connect over the drink or the food maybe. Right. And they don't have, no, I'm not going to go there.
But it's all groupthink. I mean, like, we go down the rabbit hole of, you know.
I've probably done it in the past. Like, I've probably been that person like, "Oh, come on." Like, you know, but now just being on the other side and like trying to put those boundaries where I'm like, "Hey, I'm not drinking because I'm trying to get pregnant," or like, you know, there's reasons, hey, for my health, or I'm trying to lose weight, whatever it might be. And them not respecting those boundaries, it's super frustrating. It's like, hey, if you're really my friend, then you're going to respect those boundaries and you want me to get to that goal.
Yeah. But it's so funny. We teach our kids in a certain sense of like, you know, peer pressure. And peer pressure really doesn't, it truly to me is just the demon of influence. You're like, how bad do you want to hold to your values? Mm-hmm. And I don't think people understand that when you challenge me, I just step in the paint harder. So when they're like, "Oh, come on, just one shot," I'm like, no, like now I'm mad. Mm-hmm. Now I'm mad because I feel like you're not respecting what I'm saying. I shouldn't have to explain that. In my 20s, I was an over-explainer. So I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not drinking, but I'm going to drink over there. And you know, maybe I'll just have a sip, but you know, like I just really don't want to do that," because now I'm just like, no, I don't want to drink. Right. I don't want to. No. Right. No. And I can say Lent right now, but like the answer is no. I don't have it.
You don't drink anyway.
I don't have an affinity for alcohol. I never did. In fact, we talked about this before. I was like, Shannon made fun of me on the show because I had to have a chaser. And I remember being like, why is that a flex? Why is it a flex that you like the taste of alcohol and I don't? Like, why am I getting made fun of? Because I have a chaser. Because I absolutely hate the taste of alcohol so much that I gag. Yeah. And I'm doing it to be in the group that won't even accept me anyway. Yeah. So what is the point?
What is the point? I feel like you held your own there though. Like you were like, I'm not gonna subject to like your little like what you
that's
want me
me being in the paint though. I'm like, you're not gonna win me over by telling me that I'm the P word because I have a shot with a chaser. Right. Like, you know, and I look back on all that stuff and I'm like, man, I wish I had just the courage that I have now to just be like, I think it's actually pretty disrespectful of you to just continue.
But that's
But
that's your 20s.
That's your 20s.
I'm sure. Do you think she'd still do that today?
No, definitely not. No.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. I just wish you didn't have to go through your 20s. I think about like our kids.
It'd be on TV.
And it'd be on TV.
I know. But there's just so many learning lessons and you don't learn how to stick up for yourself or just like how to advocate for yourself or say like what you really want. Like the peer pressure really is there. I mean, like even with drinking, like now, sometimes like I feel like I'm on the boat, like I want like a drink, but I'm like, do I really want a drink? Maybe one, but like I don't need to get drunk on a boat every time I'm on a boat. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
And but here's the thing though. I think that's the beauty of choice. If you feel like it. The problem is that my choice is not your choice, and that shouldn't affect how you feel about me. But it seems to be that way. Right. My choice of how I choose to worship God, of how I choose to raise my children, as long as I'm doing it in the fashion of like they're obviously first and taken care of and safe, right? Like if I'm abusing my children, please step in. But if I'm doing all the things that show that I love my kids, and it just might be a little different than you, then I think we really have to sit back into ourselves and say, why do I have this visceral need to overextend myself and my opinions on someone else?
Yeah. And then why do we all have to be the same? I don't like, that's one thing that I don't understand. Why do we all have to think the same, do the same? If I'm not doing it the way that you want me to do it, or you're not doing it the way that I want to do it, like why? Like not everybody wants to do things the same, period.
Well, and I think we've really missed the mark on individualism in community, right? So people think, for whatever reason, like you use the Catholic Church, for example, people think it's a cult, right? Because you're like, you have to believe these things. You have to do it this way. Well, no, that's just tradition. You don't have to, but then you're not really practicing the Catholic religion. So maybe you go to a different church, right? Like I think that's what we're missing is I don't have to lose myself. I think, and this is a perfect example of motherhood too. It's like, I think a lot, I used to say, I lost myself in my motherhood. Like, no, I evolved.
Yeah, right.
I evolved and it was uncomfortable. It was different. I didn't notice the person in the mirror, but now I've gotten to this place. And so you might experience motherhood totally different, where like you need a 10-day trip without your kids. I don't think until my kids are past 10 that I'll be at that point, because I just, of how I was brought up and how I felt in my childhood is how I'm in, like that's the thing, is we've all gone through life differently and experienced things differently.
Yes, that's what it is. It's the life experiences that mirror how you handle the outside world. And I think people don't take that into account, and they just are like, why are people acting like this?
Right.
Or why are they making these decisions? It's like, well, my whole entire life experience has led me up to this point to make this decision. So respect it.
Yeah. Right. And I truly, like, PJ and I talk about this too, because he's like, how are you, sometimes he says, you're not mad enough. And I love that.
Wait, what? I always see you get mad. Not like you, I've seen you mad.
But like mad enough as in like, I don't ostracize myself from those people. I'll say how I feel.
Yeah.
But I don't, because I don't think that that's the point. Like I truly am not like, I have feelings, I have opinions, but I do not judge people, because I think at the end of the day, the conversation you're going to have is between you and the one upstairs. So I think that as long as, again, I don't foresee you as an abusive or a terrible human being who's hurt children or people or otherwise, then there's not much for me to judge, because I'm not the judge.
You're very forgiving.
Yeah. Because I think
you don't forget, you forgive. Does that make sense? Like you will always carry it with you. I mean, that's like everybody.
Yeah, I think I'm a locker person for sure. And that's probably, I don't know if that's good, but
I cut off. Like I've gotten better at it. I used to just cut off people. I don't do that anymore. I realized that you don't need to cut somebody off. Like there's just a back away, or like a season that maybe we're in. I think I've said on the podcast before, there's seasons where somebody just doesn't fit into the season of my life, or I don't fit into the season of their life, and you just back away. But sometimes you come back together, that kind of thing. But like, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
But I feel like that's what Lent is. It's a step back away from the worldly life.
Yeah.
And, the dedication into prayer. Like the fact that I'm in the Bible every single day for the purpose of reflecting the Lenten season, like that, I was already committed to it, but now it's like, I have to do it. I'm like, I got to get my fix. And then, just the fact of like doing all those things and knowing that for me, it's a temporary season, right? This ends Easter Sunday, and then I can go back. I can bring back coffee if I want. I can drink if I want, but I'm doing this because I'm not doing this for myself. Like I'm leaning in on my faith.
Right.
But the whirlwind that it causes people, like a perfect example is, I was talking to somebody and they're like, well, because I was a big like zodiac, whatever person. And then, and currently I'm not, I find myself being like, nah, that's God. Like, I don't want to do God or the universe. It's God. Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that anymore. And I don't care if you do that, because I was there, but this is where I am now. And so I have a hard time like reading what I'm reading and then going back to an old part of myself. And that's just where I am. I'm shedding something. Something feels like it's shifting. And you know, someone was talking to me and they're like, blah, 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 blah. And then they said something like, something about nature and whatever. And I had this like weird inkling. I was like, where did you get that from? And they're like, this Wiccan book. I said, you know, Wiccan is witchcraft. And they're like, no, it's not. And I was like, well, then what is it?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? They're like,
Yeah.
well, it's about manipulating nature. And I was like, oh,
Witchcraft.
Yeah. But if you hear, like, take out the witch in it, like, you're talking about manipulating nature. Who created nature?
Right.
Why are you manipulating it?
Why?
You know, what are you doing to serve the purpose of making things work for you and in your favor? I would just argue that there's nothing. And again, if that's the way you want to go, that's fine. But then you have to submit to what it actually is.
Yeah.
We can't just name things differently because we're like, oh, it's not the same. It's just a little bit different. It's just a little like this. It just
It's
is
just
or it
for
isn't.
fun.
Yeah, and that's great. It's just for fun. But then you have to also accept that there are really dark parts to that.
Yeah.
And then you have to accept that you're doing it. And that's for me, that's what it comes down to. I'm not judging anybody that goes through it. I was the biggest person of like aura readings and horoscopes and getting my
We were going to do one for the podcast last year.
That's weird.
You remember we were going to go get our auras done. I was like, let's go do this for the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not all the way there yet. I still am like, oh, I'm a Capricorn because it's just fun.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that's
but it's just funny that like how
but
totally
I'm
into it.
Yeah.
And then now you're like, there's just like something, just like a little nick in the back.
It's a nick. Yes. That's where it's like, okay, I'm not sitting here. I think it's funny. Like, how do I explain this? Because it's like just for fun. Yeah. I'm kind of one of those people. I'm aware that it's probably not good with where I am on my faith journey, but I'm not leaning into it like,
yeah.
Okay, what's my month going to be like with my horoscope? You know what I mean?
Yeah. A perfect example of this is I keep having perfect examples. One thing that caught me was, so PJ and I obviously are doing pre-Cana because we're going to get married in the Catholic Church. And so we're going through all of the Catholic Church traditions on getting married. Now, a lot of times they will tell the to be married couple that they can't live together because they're like, we want everything separated. But because we have children, priest is like, okay, as long as you guys are like not engaging. And so we engaged, and I wouldn't take communion the next Sunday. And Peter's like, why didn't you take communion? And I was like, because I can't. We were living in sin. And he was like, what? And I was like, well, we weren't supposed to do that. Like, we're supposed to be chaste until we get married. And he was like, even he's like, oh my gosh, you were throwing all these. And I'm like, it's not a rule. It's look, if we're going through pre-Cana, we're going through pre-marriage.
You want to do it right.
It's not like, I don't judge anybody that does it. I just personally, in my conviction, was like, if I'm going to do this, I want to do this 100%. I am not going to just cherry pick and be like, well, we already have kids and we already live together and we've already been together for we obviously did it. So we just keep doing it. That's not the whole point.
Right. That's sacrifice.
Right. And so like, is it comfortable? No. Does it make sense? Not really, but that's not for me to know why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I didn't create the mountains and the molehills. So I can't really tell you why I need to do that, but that is what is required of me right now. And that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make in order to have God bless my marriage in the Catholic Church. Right. So those are all the things. So
he's like trying to move up the wedding. Just kidding.
Yeah, and then I moved it back. I was like, hey, I think it's going to probably be the next year because I was like, I can't. There's just too many timelines running at the same time and it's driving me nuts.
This episode is brought to you by Needed, a brand that I genuinely love and have actually been using for about 2 years now. I used it when we were trying to conceive and now all throughout pregnancy. So well before they ever reach out to partner with us, so you know that it's tried and true. One of the things that I appreciate most about Needed is that their supplements are formulated based on what women actually need nutritionally, especially during fertility, pregnancy, and postpartum. A lot of prenatals on the market are underdosed or missing key nutrients. For example, many prenatals don't include enough choline, which is super important for baby's brain and nervous system development. So Needed actually recently reformulated their multi-essentials prenatal and actually increased the amount of choline from 150 milligrams to 250 milligrams, which is amazing to see because it's such an essential nutrient that's been often overlooked. They've also increased their vitamin B6, zinc, vitamin D, and many others. Right now, I'm taking the reformulated Multi Essentials Prenatal, and I also love their collagen protein. It is such an easy way to get protein in. And collagen supports things like skin, joints, and tissue support during pregnancy and postpartum recovery. I also just ordered today their iron support because naturally I tend to run a little low on iron, especially toward the end of pregnancy. And I want my levels strong going into postpartum. And I love that theirs is formulated to be highly absorbable and gentle. What's really cool about Needed is that they support women through every stage of the mother span. They have products for general women's health, cycle support, trying to conceive, pregnancy, postpartum, and even perimenopause. If you want to check them out, go to thisisneeded.com and use the code TruthMoms for 20% off your order. I'll also go ahead and link in the show notes.
And we're back.
Yeah. So anyway, like it's, I have always been into like goals, as in like what is it called, like bikini pageants and races, like 5Ks
Yeah.
we did. So I always like things like, hey, I have to do this for this certain time and stretch myself so that I can see. It's a way for me to be more proactive about
Yeah.
myself and my health and my life. And so anyway, with being off of social media, boy,
Like challenging yourself is what you're saying.
I actually took the Bible app that I have and I put it in place of the social media, because that first week my brain doesn't even I just grab my phone and instantly click right where it is. So I had to replace it because I was like, whoa, that's tough. And then just the, having to explain to people, this was the other thing, like not about coffee, even worse than coffee, sugar and all that. It was being like, I'm not consuming social media right now. Like you were perfect. You were like, yeah, totally good. Like no big deal. Like, oh, okay. Like when you're back, like here's some things I want you to look at. But like,
Well, if I really want you to look at it, I'd text message you like a screenshot. I'm like, hey, like I feel like you need to see this right now.
right. But just the absolute, like, not just how addiction is so real with social media is, it's not just like you viewing it, it's you going. And PJ just a couple times, like he's great about it too. He's not like mad, but it took him back a couple times because he's like, oh my gosh, I am the tempter. Like I'm literally being like, you said I don't want to be on social media, and you're like, hey, check this out. Hey, check this out. Hey, check this out. And I was like, I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to consume it. But after you get through those first couple of weeks, like the freedom of not, honestly, positioning myself of like, putting myself in a book. I'm reading the Brothers Karamazov, which is an incredible book. It's like based on his rendition of the Prodigal Son, but it's an incredible novel. And like putting like 20 minutes in there, 20 minutes in the Bible, 20 minutes in the catechism, some time in prayer, like somehow I'm able to get more out of my day than when I'm scrolling on social media.
Imagine that.
I don't know how that's possible though, because it doesn't feel like I should. The same hours in the day, but I'm like, maybe I'm just not realizing how long I'm scrolling for, and I just have just no sense of time versus being like, okay, I'm in this. All right, I'm feeling tired. I'm gonna go put the book down and go whatever. Or hey, my kids need me. I'm gonna get down. Like just the amount of time that I feel like I've gotten back out of my life, and not that I don't care about what's going on in the world or it doesn't affect me. It just feels
Lighter.
like it's more manageable.
Well, yeah. I can see it in your face too.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. I can see that the diet of social media is really working on your face.
Yeah, actually, yeah. It feels, it's just like, I relying on just what being outside, like, so the physical one, I'm just nowhere near being able to get to a gym with 2 kids right now. So like, and childcare. So 40 minutes outside every day, 40 minutes in the Bible, and, the fasting situation, and then examining yourself, like, woo, showing yourself the mirror every night of like where you've not failed. Yes, failed. Where you're like, man, I really didn't live up to that expectation, or I really let that get to me, or that really feels tough. Even if you're not speaking to the Lord, I just encourage everyone to do a nightly examine to yourself, because you're just you forget what happens in the day. And then when you're forced to be like, man, where was this moment where I just felt like I was not kind, or, hey, what's one moment that really brought me happiness today? And just to realize your blessings, I think has been a really good thing for me. But even more so, I just kind of gave up with social media. I'm like, you know what? Instead of consuming every Sunday, I'm going to put something out there. And whether or not, I mean, it doesn't do well. The algorithm hates it, I'm sure, but I am doing like a social media, what is it called? Like a Sunday
Summary.
reflection,
Yeah,
essentially, of like
reflection.
my week and how it, and to go back and be like, man, I did some pretty cool things this week and I got to experience them and I got to be present for them. And not that my life has dramatically changed like overnight. I have $1 million in a new home, but I do feel like life and finances and friends and whatever has been more
It feels lighter. You look lighter. And not like weight wise, like in your life.
Oh,
like
thanks.
something is off your shoulders. Like
Thanks.
and I was just thinking about the Jesus truck. You said you saw another one.
Okay. So I literally I saw another one at Hobby Lobby, and it was I've been on Facebook Marketplace a little bit, and I wanted to get this like Virgin Mary thing, and this woman was like, "Hey, because she was not in town. She's like, "Hey, I'm randomly going to be at Hermitage," and I was like, "Oh, I randomly live in Hermitage." So she met me on Saturday, and I was like telling her, I was like, "Hey," she's like, "My mother passed away and she was very Catholic and she's got all these things." And I said, "Oh, great. If you find anything else, please let me know." And she's like, "Yeah, I have to go through her whole estate."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "Great. I would love all the things." And I like look, and she's like, she's parked this way, I'm parked this way. And I look, and there's like another Jesus. And I was like, okay, cool.
You're like,
you're on the
you
same
and
page as I am.
science.
And I could hear her. So she turned. I'm telling the truck driver, I'm like, "I love your truck." He's like, "Thanks."
Oh, he actually
And
like heard you this time?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I like
You're
waved to him because he was
Do you even
stopped.
know you're like going viral? And no, you're not going viral,
Yeah,
but
I'm like, "Oh, I love this truck." So I turn, she turns around, I could hear her laughing.
Aw.
So I was like, and it was like the little couple was
Aw,
so
that's so
sweet. I'm
sweet.
like, I'm sure like I got a good chuckle out of it. And PJ, because we, all the things that we talk about, I'm like, I get these little winks and stuff. And he's finally getting some too. And
good.
he was sharing that with me this week. So that was cool to see like that we have a little extra
And
joy.
you guys are just more present because you're not scrolling on social media where you'll notice
So
this
he
stuff.
is. Well, and you start to realize when you're not, it's like when you're not drinking and you're in a crowd of drunk friends, you're like, wow, you guys, everybody.
When you're pregnant and everybody, and you're just like, this is what I'm like when I'm drunk. Like, what? Like, I don't want to do this ever again. But no, it's funny. Like, you're right. Like Justin, like I was always on my phone, right? And then now, because I was on my phone, he started getting on his phone. And then I've tried to back away from being on my phone so much. I'm like, you're always on your phone. And he's like, coming from you? Like, are you joking? But like, you just realize it. It's crazy. And it's a lot. And like, I hate where you're like laying next to each other in bed and you're just sitting there scrolling. But you're like, I just need a break from the day. And, like, I just don't, I need a second to myself and my thoughts and everything like that. You feel guilty, but you're like, I just need this.
Well, that was the whole point of getting rid of the social media, was because I said the same thing. Like, I need a second. And I was like, a second from what?
Yeah.
Because it's just more noise. It's just
more
noise.
It's actually the noisiest.
I will tell you, sitting in silence is so uncomfortable because I'm like, I don't remember the last time. And not just like drive, because, that was the thing. So one thing I wanted to say about Lent. So I've been going to confession quite a bit. And I went to this last one, and I told PJ, I said, I just need more time. Like, I just need more time in the day. So I randomly, speaking of science, I literally was like, "Lord, can you just please give me more time today? Like with you, I just would love to just sit in because in these reflections, it keeps talking about silent prayer. And it's like, not when you're driving, not when you're cooking, like with your earphones on, as I'm hanging out with my headphones on, because I'm like cooking dinner with my kids, like real intentional silent worship." Right. And I was like, okay, can you please give that to me then? Because I don't know where. And quite literally, I get a text message from St. Stephen, who's here. It's not a parish that we go to, but I, for whatever reason, signed up for text messages. And it was like, "Hey, so we're doing a Lenten 3-day."
I saw that. Yeah.
And I was like, "Are you kidding?" I mean, instantly. Like, it was like within the hour. Crazy. And so I sent it to PJ. I was like, I asked the Lord for time and he gave it to me. Can I please go to church today? And he was like, "Oh, I'm going to tell you no." Like,
he's like, "All right."
Of all the things, can I go drink with my girlfriends? Can I go to karaoke? You're like, "Can I go to church?" Am I going to say no? You asked me to go to church for sheesh. So so anyway, I go there, and the end of each of them, they're offering confession. There's like a couple of priests. And I have never done face-to-face confession. So if you understand confession,
really? It's face-to-face?
The belief is that the priest acts as a screen, and so you're actually talking to Jesus, right? He is giving his what's the word? Like, kind of like holiness through the priest. So the priest is not forgiving you; he's forgiving you through Jesus. So there's always a screen, and so I cry every time, so I don't like people to see me. And so I usually kneel before the actual physical like screen thing, and I say what for whatever reason, because there were so many priests. I was in line, and you could see everybody going around and seeing face to face. I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do that today. So here I am. I'm like doing this Lenten stuff. I'm literally like praying every day. I'm teaching my kids these prayers. I'm in my Bible every day. I'm going to mass at 8:00 at night, and I'm sitting in confession, and I'm telling the priest like, hey, you know what? I'm having a hard time with just like finding the space. Like I was like, I just get angry because I can't find enough time and whatever. And you think most of my confessions are like, child, it's okay. Like Jesus loves you, and he just wants you to spend time with him and blah, blah, blah. I'm just waiting for that, like
Comfort, like that blanket.
comfort. And he goes, my child, you are not taking your faith seriously.
Oh.
And I was like, are you kidding me? I was so offended because I was like, what are you talking about? I've literally stopped everything I've ever done, and I'm like trying to be here. What do you mean? And I was like, maybe because like I was face to face with him, and I get like a little, how like you just get a little smiley when someone, because you're uncomfortable. I was like, maybe he thinks I was like laughing through my confession. I was like, no way. He doesn't. But then he explains it. He's like, doing things distracted isn't doing them at all. And not that you don't have a good intention, but essentially like you're basically saying, I'll give you the time that I got, instead of saying, I will find time for you. And there is nothing wrong with, if you like, you got to get out of that mindset. Cause right now I'm like, man, how do I manage the kids and how do I do this and whatever? And he's like, but I've said this a million times about every boy, about every friend. If they want to, they will. And I had like, that was like placed back on me. Like, if you want to,
it's a relationship.
And I was like, you gotta be crazy. So then I get in on my way home from church, and on the reflection, there was a sister that was talking about, he just wants your time. He just wants your time. Like, it was in that part. I was like, so I'm starting to bawl like a baby. And she says a prayer of like, I knew you from when I knit you in the womb. It was basically a priest that had taken a lot of the prayers that Jesus had and put them in like one essential prayer, and it was just speaking to me. And I was like, he's like, I just want your time.
It's that simple.
I just want you and your time, and I just want to spend silence with you. And I have been reminded all Lenten season that like silence is a lot harder than you think. It's uncomfortable because the things that go in your mind.
Yes.
Like, how do you bring your mind back? Like, you're just to just sit by yourself. The immediate need to not just grab something like a phone. The immediate need not to like look over or talk to somebody. The immediate need to like not like fidget, just to sit and be uncomfortable in that silence and find the voice. Cause I kept saying like how people say like, they've heard the voice of God, or like they're like, I've heard Jesus. I'm like, I've never heard him talk.
Really?
I don't feel like I've ever heard him talk. I feel like I see things, but I'm like, maybe I'm just not, I literally was like, maybe I'm just not worthy enough. And that's fine. I'm a terrible person, but like, I just would love if I would just get maybe
stop.
here like one day. Well, I know, I'm just saying like, maybe I'm just not worthy enough. So and that's fine. I'm not saying I should be worthy enough, but what I hear when people are like, yeah, I heard his voice. I'm like, you did?
You're jealous.
I'm a little jealous.
You're a little jealous.
I'm a little jealous. So I was like, but I also might not be doing like this Lenten season has been like, you're doing everything, but you're doing them per your schedule. You're still controlling it.
Let me ask you, does Catholic religion believe in spiritual gifts? Like, there's a lot of them. There's some that freak me out.
Like the fruits of the spirit?
No, like being able to like talk directly to God, or like what's another one? Talking like in tongues, or like healing.
I think that, there's Catholic priests that do exorcisms. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that
because part. I'm thinking maybe like your spiritual gift is just different. I don't know if it's a thing or not.
We have to send me that. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they talk about it a lot at our church.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they talk. They don't. They don't practice
that makes
it,
me
like,
feel hopeful.
Like, it's not like a Pentecostal church where I think that they really lean into the spiritual gifts. But there's a bunch of different ones. I think there's like 7.
Really?
Yeah. I have to look it up. I don't remember them off the bat, but like some of them kind of freak me out. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. There's like the healing one is like crazy. Like you touch somebody and they're like healed. It's
really
wild. Like I'm not as bad as it sounds. I'm not sure. Like I'm very skeptical.
No, it's not sure. I think with that one thing I'm learning in my reflections is like, it is like, you think about Job, right? Like it's okay to be a little angry. It's okay to talk, like, even in one, they were like, anger in itself, every emotion you have is a neutral. It's not bad or
Yeah.
good. It's just a whatever. It's how you apply that. So like, if you're that's a part of your faith that you're struggling with, that's
Yeah.
okay. Like, it's okay to question. Like, God didn't say don't question
Yeah.
me.
It's really hard. I think why people don't jump into faith, and like there's people that like kind of make fun of us on the internet. They think that we've taken like this like 180 turn. It's like, wait,
We get made
yeah,
fun of?
yeah. Yeah, I did in comments today.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll tell you
really?
about it later.
Oh, man, that
I don't
sucks.
care. It's fine. Like I was just calling out like the truth, and like people like, you would say that, but you're God. I don't know. Like you've God all over your profile, and like
Who
I'm
cares?
just calling out the truth. Like allowed to do that. That's what God did. Like
Oh, well, that's everybody's favorite thing,
yeah, like you're like,
though.
go
Is
read
like
your
they're like,
Bible.
oh,
I'm like,
of course, people have, Bible quotes in there. The people that have Bible quotes in their profile. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes they're a little bit nutty, but I don't think that that's a prerequisite for being a
no, it
mean
was
person on the
so
internet.
misdirected, honestly. Like I was just like, okay, whatever. And it's like I don't even have Bible quotes in my. It was
Oh,
just
you
there
don't?
two things that said 20 minutes before church, and God did a
Oh.
drive by. That's all that was God on my profile. And I'm like, okay. But I think back to my point. I think that people think, and I think Justin actually struggles with this. He feels like he has to be the perfect Christian and is ready to change everything about himself and has to know the Bible frontwards and backwards to like really begin his spiritual walk. And I think he's realizing that's not the case, but he feels like he has to be this perfect person in order to go into the church. And I don't know where that comes
Yeah.
from.
That's admirable, but
But like people realize like you're not gonna just jump in and like agree with everything right off the bat. Like it's a walk. You're gonna struggle. You're gonna be like, I don't know if I'm there yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's this Promise conference that's coming up, and I feel like I want to go, but I feel like I'm also not there yet. And it's just still same with like our tribe. It's my I've put this on the internet, so it's fine. My church is called New Tribe. So our study sessions or our Bible studies are called tribe groups. I really want to join one, but I just don't see one that speaks to me. And I feel like I want to know the Bible on my own more before I go and do that.
And
And it's just like that's part of my spiritual walk. You know what I mean? Like it's just everything looks different and it's very customizable. And I'm getting more comfortable with where I'm at there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I said, you're drinking from a fire hose. I'm like,
I don't know. I think sometimes I feel like I am, and then other times I feel like I've hit a wall.
I don't think so. I don't
Thanks.
think so. I think you're like diving right in, which is awesome. I'm just like, I gotta watch this children's show first to learn a little bit about it. And then
Hey, those are some of the best
no,
ones.
honestly, just like I need to skim high level, like, and then I want to go and read it in the Bible and like deep dive.
Yeah. Well, that's how some of the things that are on for our kids. What's the coolest thing is you watch it and you go, how much of that is biblically accurate? And then you just like, did David actually cut Saul's robe? And you're like, he did. That's really in the Bible. And then then you start reading and you get into it, right? You're like, how much of the story is actually the story and what is
That's so
made for
funny
the
that you
TV?
said that because I was doing my acupuncture the other day, and my son is obsessed, like I said, with David and Goliath right now. I'm like, I'm gonna read the story in the Bible right now. So that's what I did during my acupuncture session, and I'm like, okay, there's definitely things that movie left out. I see why, but like, what is true? And I was shocked to see some of the things that were true in there. It's crazy. So funny you picked that story out of all of them.
Yeah. Love David. But yeah, so I think that at the end of the day, I think whatever walk you're in speaking, I think it's just what's interesting in this season that I'm finding out is like when I think that I've stepped into like, hey, this is how I feel, I tend to see things around me fall a little bit apart. Like just because people don't understand. I mean, the same thing that we talk about why we even started Truth Moms. Like some people don't understand why certain people choose certain things and paths for their children, and it becomes a war zone for whatever reason. People don't want to acknowledge that just because we're doing things a different way does not mean that you are good or bad, right? A choice is neutral. It is the intention of that choice that I would say, right? Are you doing it with conviction? Are you doing it with research? Are you doing it with the intent of doing no harm?
Right.
You know, what are the choices that you're making and how are they rippling affecting everybody else and the world around you?
Right.
Are you making it a better place?
Right. I agree.
Happy Lent.
Happy Lent. We'll end it there. Thank you, Brittany.
Yeah, just for your Catholic, your first Catholic rendition of it. There you go. Thanks for tuning in to Truth Moms. Remember, mamas, the truth starts at home.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It really helps us reach more moms like you, and plus, it's free.
Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and we will keep dropping those truth bombs.